What's the best compact phone to buy in 2026 out of these four phones? Would it be the new Galaxy S26 with the triple camera setup, the Xiaomi 17 with its Leica colors, the Pixel 10, which for the first time also comes with a telephoto camera, or the iPhone 17 that is now having a promotion display? The Pixel 10 has this classic Pixel look with a glass back, and for the first time, the base series also comes with a triple camera setup. The Galaxy S26 has a new camera housing, which makes it even more similar to the S26 Ultra. The triple camera system is unchanged. It also has two variants, Exynos and Snapdragon. I'm using both variants in this video, and I labeled them accordingly. The Xiaomi 17 with Leica colors also has a triple camera system and a massive battery capacity. The global version has a 6330 mAh battery, while the Chinese variant is 7000. Here I'm using the global version. iPhone 17 has a classic look and two extra buttons compared to the other phones, which are the camera button and the action button. The Galaxy S26 is still the lightest phone among the four, followed by the iPhone 17, Xiaomi 17, and finally, the Pixel 10 is a hefty phone at 204 grams. The Pixel 10 and iPhone 17 both have PixelSnap and Magsafe bags, which means you can simply attach Magsafe accessories to them, while for the Galaxy S26 and Xiaomi 17, you need a case and they don't offer this natively. The displays of all of them are bright enough, and I don't see much of a difference even in direct sunlight. They are all 6.3 inches, which is a bit unfortunate. It kind of begs the question whether we can even consider these phones compact anymore, considering they are becoming bigger every year. Pixel 10 is the biggest in size since the bezels are larger than the other three phones. All four phones support up to 120Hz refresh rate. The main cameras on all of them are 48 to 50 megapixel. They have different focal length, with Xiaomi 17 having the widest at 23mm and the iPhone having the narrowest at 26mm. For sensor size and aperture, the Xiaomi simply has the best combination, which means it lets in the most light. Galaxy and iPhone are similar, and Pixel 10 is very disappointing with a small sensor size. You can look at this chart to see what I mean. The Pixel is the rectangular in the middle, Xiaomi is the outer one, while iPhone and Galaxy sit in between. But sensor size is not everything, and image processing is sometimes more important. We'll put that into the test now. For reference, this is Maria, the model of today's video, and this footage is shot by a full-frame Sony camera. As you can see, the Xiaomi is, in my opinion, creating colors closest to the Sony. I also like the way it exposes Maria's face. The Galaxy and iPhone are warmer, and Pixel has a lot of magenta in the white balance. For HDR processing, I can find Xiaomi doing the best job if you look at the sky in the background. Galaxy comes close, Pixel skin processing is a bit disappointing, and iPhone is blowing highlights. In this photo, Galaxy, Xiaomi, and iPhone are close in terms of image processing, even though Xiaomi is slightly warmer. The problem I see is that Pixel has reverse vignetting and the corners of the image are brighter than the middle. In this photo, you can see Pixel has colder colors. Galaxy has warmer tones, Xiaomi is more contrasty, which is characteristic of Leica colors, and iPhone is more balanced. Sensor size usually shows its importance in low-light situations like indoors. Here at first glance, the photos look close, but if you zoom in, you can see Xiaomi has better optical quality, followed by iPhone and Galaxy, and Pixel has the worst quality due to the smaller sensor size. The colors here are very different on each phone, with iPhone and Xiaomi having deeper purple, while Galaxy and Pixel are lighter. Here, the Xiaomi is more contrasty than the other three phones, while Galaxy is more vivid, especially if you look at the tulips. Sensor size also affects how much bokeh you get. Here, you can see the amount of background blur on Pixel is less than any of the other three phones, with Xiaomi having the most background blur. You can of course use portrait mode, as I did here, to get more background blur. Xiaomi did a decent job, Galaxy and iPhone are also good, but Pixel is outright disappointing. For video, Galaxy and Xiaomi can record up to 8K, while the other two go up to 4K. Here, I'm shooting in 4K on all four phones to keep things consistent. The Pixel has a lot of magenta, the Galaxy is making a very warm video, Xiaomi has lots of greens, and I personally prefer the iPhone colors the most. The thing about video colors though is that Xiaomi and Galaxy have promotes that let you shoot in log and give you much more flexibility in controlling your footage. Galaxy even offers APV, which lets you capture almost lossless video. Here I'm shooting in log in Galaxy and Xiaomi and color grading the footage, and I really like the result even though I'm just using the default lookup table. For default colors though, without using log, Xiaomi is very vivid and saturated in video mode, Pixel again has a lot of magenta, and Galaxy and iPhone are more or less closer to each other here. The Pixel, Galaxy and Xiaomi all have a third telephoto camera, while iPhone lacks that. Pixel has the longest native zoom, followed by Galaxy and then Xiaomi. The problem with the Galaxy and Pixel though is the megapixel count on their telephoto cameras, which does not help much when you zoom in beyond the native focal length. Xiaomi has the largest sensor size, followed by Pixel and then Galaxy. This chart shows the difference between the three. The smallest rectangle inside is Galaxy, Pixel is in the middle, and the largest is Xiaomi. Here I'm using 3x zoom. Pixel is still using the main camera, but Galaxy and Xiaomi switched to their telephoto lenses. I really like the look on Xiaomi. The quality is excellent. At 5x zoom, Pixel, Galaxy and Xiaomi are all using the telephoto camera. Pixel and Galaxy are sharpening the image quite aggressively, while the Xiaomi photo is softer with more natural background blur. iPhone quality falls behind simply because it is a digital crop. At this 5x zoom, I actually like the Pixel look. It is a bit too contrasty though, and makes Maria's hair looks whiter. The Galaxy is slightly disappointing. Xiaomi creates a softer camera-like photo, and it is simply better not to zoom this much on the base iPhone. In portrait mode, Pixel does not let you use the telephoto camera, which is honestly surprising. The quality is also quite poor. Galaxy processing is not great either, which is expected since the sensor and resolution are limited. Xiaomi is doing a better job even though the colors are more contrasty and may not be everyone's taste. iPhone surprisingly does a decent job here. For minimum zoom, Xiaomi lets you zoom the furthest since it can still crop from the 50 megapixel sensor. Then Galaxy and Pixel are close, even though Pixel keeps a slightly better quality, and iPhone does not really let you zoom in that much. For the ultrawide camera, the most noticeable thing is that the Xiaomi has the longest focal length, which means you cannot fit as much into the frame compared to the other three phones. For selfies, Xiaomi is doing well, but the one with the tightest frame is Galaxy, followed by Pixel. iPhone has the widest selfie camera thanks to the square sensor. Let's test the selfie video and camera next. So now we are testing the microphone quality of Pixel 10. This is the microphone quality of Pixel 10. Then we are moving to the Galaxy S26. Is the microphone quality any good? Then we are moving to the Xiaomi 17. This is the global variant, but the microphone should be the same as the Chinese version. And finally, this is the iPhone 17. How's the microphone quality on the iPhone 17? One thing that only iPhone 17 can do is this horizontal selfie mode, that you can take a selfie both vertically and horizontally. For night photos, the Pixel made the sky a bit too blue and unnatural. Galaxy and iPhone are doing a good job, while Xiaomi also made the sky too blue and overly vivid. The same goes for this telephoto image. Pixel and Xiaomi have better optical quality, but the sky is not very natural despite the image being less noisy. Another important factor when buying a phone is battery life. Capacity-wise, iPhone has the lowest at 3692 mAh, followed by Galaxy at 4300 mAh, Pixel 10 at 4870 mAh, and Xiaomi with a massive 6330 mAh. I recently made a battery life video using all compact phones I have, and there the iPhone 17 had the worst result. Galaxy S26 and Pixel 10 did better, but those three phones were fairly close to each other. The one that really stood out was Xiaomi, with its silicon carbide battery lasting noticeably longer than the other three phones. Also a small note, the Galaxy S26 Snapdragon version had about 8% better battery life than the Exynos variants based on my tests, and the Xiaomi Chinese version performed even better than the global version. Performance-wise, the Pixel 10 is sporting Tensor G5, the Galaxy is using either Exynos 2600 or Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5 Galaxy Edition, Xiaomi 17 is running Snapdragon 8 Elite Generation 5, and iPhone 17 is powered by A19. In Geekbench, iPhone 17 did the best in single core, followed by Galaxy Snapdragon, Xiaomi 17, then Galaxy Exynos, and finally Pixel. In multi-core, the Galaxy S26 Snapdragon performed the best, followed closely by the S26 Exynos, Xiaomi 17, iPhone 17, and Pixel again was rather disappointing. Software-wise, the Pixel 10 is running Android 16 Pixel Edition, Galaxy is running OneUI 8.5, and Xiaomi is running HyperOS 3, which is very similar in look and feel to iOS 26 on the iPhone 17. All of them are trying their best to offer features similar to the others. Even the animations and default apps are getting closer to each other in terms of design. They also offer similar AI functionalities like holding the power button and talking to Gemini. Okay, that was a lot of information, so let me summarize it quickly. The Pixel 10 is a bit heavy for a compact phone, and the other downside is the weak main sensor. The chipset performance could also be better. That said, it has a relatively good telephoto camera, and the clean Pixel software is what usually attracts most people. The Galaxy S26 is the lightest phone here. The camera is becoming a bit outdated, and it has been unchanged for years, but it is an overall balanced phone in terms of camera, battery life, and OneUI offers a lot of useful features. The Xiaomi 17 has the best hardware without any doubt. The camera sensors are large, the battery capacity is massive, and HyperOS is improving over time. The downside is less frequent software updates. The iPhone 17, like the Galaxy S26, is very balanced. The problem is that it does not have a telephoto camera, and the battery capacity is relatively low and a bit disappointing. If you want to see the detailed battery test of all of these four phones, you can watch this video next. Thanks for tuning into Tecmo, and I will see you in the next one.